to Aaron and Gary, and we're going to join them with Ron calling in from Orlando.
Hey, Ron.
Hi, Ron.
I have a question. If you're a married couple that came to Orlando many years ago, let's say 1970, bought a piece of property, maybe for a lakefront or something like that, didn't do anything with it, kept that property all of those years, etc., and your wife dies at, let's say, 2015, do you get and you want to sell the property, do you get the pick up in basis for half the price of the property, or do you go all the way back to 1970 when the property was purchased originally?
So it was jointly owned property that you and your wife purchased back in the 70s?
Right. In 1970.
Yeah, they would get a step up on half of the basis.
And I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
Well, you sound good.
Yeah. I hope so.
I'm still alive. I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
So. And I can, if I sell the property now, that's fine. If I don't sell the property or just keep it until I die, what happens to the basis now, as far as capital gains is concerned, and as far as my heirs are concerned?
Sure.
I would have the day let's say that I die next year.
Got it. Well, on the first piece, to answer,
and I still own the property.
To answer your first question, you would have received a step up in half of the basis at your wife's passing
in 2015. So you would look at what the fair market value of the property was in 2015, and you would take half of that value and add it to half of what you paid originally for the property. But again, you can add improvements. So let's say, I'm not sure if this is farmland or what, but if you put in a expensive fence around your property,
or a well, utilities, or a road, or something like that,
and then the taxes you paid on the property, if they weren't prior deducted on your return, could also be added to the basis in your property. So first thing is to calculate the basis, and then but you would get a step up in half. Now your question is, if you hold the property and you die next year, and your heirs get that property, then they, under the current law, of course, this is what's being discussed right now, but under the current law, they would get a step up in basis to fair market value on the date of death or 6 months later, whichever would be higher would be the amount that they would take. Now, that is something that the Biden administration is looking at potentially changing, so you want to stay tuned to the news on that. It doesn't look like they've got the votes to get that done at this point.
But who knows?
Okay, but I have another option. What if I build a house on there and I live in it for 2 years?
I love it.
And then die?
I think that's what you should do.
I think that's not a bad option, but try to find a builder who will get it done in 2 years right now with this economy. That is a good, and a lot of folks will do that, is they will make that property their primary residence, and then you can exclude, in your case, up to $250,000 of the gain because you're single.
Let me ask you a while. If you put a manufactured home on the house, would that count for a...
If it's your principal residence.
And you lived in it for 2?
No, you have... No, you do have restrictions, especially if it's a lakefront property.
Well, yeah, right. You have zoning restrictions, but Aaron was just kind of hypothesizing if you could put a mobile home on it.
Or a real nice Airstream or something.
Right. All right, now we're getting creative. So
a good tenant.
Right.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure I had my figures straight, and I just thought I'd call in and ask the question that might be valuable to other people.
Yep, you're thinking properly. Your thought process is correct there.
And if the gain is more than $250,000, consider getting married and turning it into your principal residence. You're never too old to get married, right?
No, but when you had one of God's angels as a wife, you're not looking in to do that.
That's really sweet. Well, I hope she heard that. So.